The Haunting of Blackwood Asylum, a true horror story based on real events. Introduction. There are places in this world that seem to retain the echoes of the past, haunted, cursed, and filled with inexplicable horror. One such place is the infamous Blackwood Asylum, an abandoned psychiatric hospital that has become a magnet for ghost hunters and thrill seekers. But what many don't realize is that the terror surrounding Blackwood is not just folklore. It is based on real, documented events that have left even the most skeptical investigators shaken. This is the chilling true story of the horrors within Blackwood Asylum. Chapter 1. The Origins of Blackwood Asylum. In 1893, Blackwood Asylum was established in the small town of Ravens Hollow. It was intended to be a state-of-the-art mental institution, offering humane treatment for the mentally ill. But from its inception, there were disturbing rumors of unethical experiments and cruel punishments. Patients who entered Blackwood rarely left, and those who did often spoke of unimaginable horrors. One of the earliest records of wrongdoing came in 1902, when a patient named Margaret Wilkins mysteriously disappeared. Her files were erased, and staff denied she had ever existed. Yet, visitors to the asylum have reported seeing a ghostly figure of a woman in a hospital gown wandering the corridors, whispering incomprehensible words. Chapter 2. The Tragedy of Dr. Victor Harrow. By the 1920s, Blackwood had gained a reputation for being a place of suffering. One of its most infamous figures was Dr. Victor Harrow, a psychiatrist who believed that severe mental illnesses could be cured through extreme experimental methods. Patients were subjected to electroshock therapy, isolation, and even lobotomies without consent. Dr. Harrow's reign of terror ended in 1931 when he was found hanging in his office. The walls were covered in writings that appeared to be made in his own blood, detailing the voices he claimed to hear in his head. His notes mentioned a shadow figure that watched him while he worked, growing closer with each passing night. After his death, reports of shadowy figures appearing in the asylum skyrocketed. Chapter 3. The Massacre of 1956. One of the most horrifying events in Blackwood's history occurred on October 13, 1956. On that night, a nurse named Evelyn Carter frantically called the local police, reporting screams and chaos within the asylum. When authorities arrived, they were met with a nightmarish sight. Patients and staff alike lay slaughtered in the halls, their bodies twisted in unnatural positions. The walls were smeared with messages written in blood, some in languages that no one could decipher. The sole survivor, a janitor named Henry Tate, was found hiding in a storage closet. He was incoherent, muttering about the man with no face who had orchestrated the massacre. He later died in a psychiatric hospital, repeating the same phrase until his final breath. Chapter 4. The Asylum's Closure and Hauntings. Following the massacre, Blackwood Asylum was permanently shut down, but the horrors within its walls did not disappear. Over the years, paranormal investigators, journalists, and curious trespassers have reported disturbing phenomena: whispers in the dark, doors slamming on their own, and apparitions appearing in photographs. One particularly terrifying incident occurred in 1998 when a team of ghost hunters entered the asylum. Their footage, later analyzed by experts, captured a shadowy figure with glowing eyes standing at the end of a hallway. Seconds later, the camera cut to static, and one of the investigators was found unconscious, covered in inexplicable scratch marks. Chapter 5. The Modern-Day Blackwood Mystery. Today, Blackwood remains an abandoned ruin, yet it continues to draw those who seek to uncover its dark secrets. In 2017, a group of urban explorers live-streamed their visit to the asylum. Viewers reported seeing ghostly figures moving in the background, and the explorers themselves claimed they felt an unseen force pulling at their clothes. The stream abruptly ended when one member screamed, and the connection was lost. They were later found outside the asylum, unable to recall what had happened. Is Blackwood Asylum truly haunted? Or is there something far more sinister lurking within its walls? Those who have dared to enter and live to tell the tale all agree on one thing: there is something evil inside Blackwood, and it does not want to be disturbed. The true horror of Blackwood Asylum is not just in the stories passed down over generations, but in the chilling evidence left behind. Whether it is the restless spirits of tortured patients or an ancient evil feeding off the despair, Blackwood remains one of the most terrifying places in the world. If you ever find yourself near Raven's Hollow and feel the urge to explore, remember this: some doors are meant to stay closed, and some horrors should never be awakened.